Welcome home. This is Audio EXP for August 30th, and the episode title is Ill-Considered Politics and AI. Infinite Reimagine won the RPG Publisher Spotlight this month. The interview with Michael Sayer is now live, and in it we discuss digital-first publishing. It's a marketplace consideration for Michael, given the logistics challenges within countries, such as the drama with Diamond Comic Distributors, its collapse, and then inventory hostage situation, but also across borders, particularly in light of the American tariff problem. These are not just problems that publishers are facing. We, as buyers, people like you and me, are wrestling with these as a hobby too. I think we've become a poster child for ill-considered politics. Patrons can vote for next month's Publisher Spotlight winner in the usual private poll. The shortlisted candidates are Nulo Games, Yum DM, Grim Press, DMing the World Press, and Dice Geeks. I also tweaked the Geek Native codebase this week so that now, randomly, not always but sometimes, patrons in the town hall get a personal thank you on the bottom of blog posts. It's long overdue, but the coding had thwarted me until now. Let's start this week's highlight show by mentioning JD Maxwell and Grimwild. Sadly, JD Maxwell is missing. We know because there's an outstanding Kickstarter for the physical edition of Grimwild to fulfill. It's not uncommon for Kickstarters to take money and then never deliver the product. It's not even that rare for people behind the Kickstarter just to stop communicating. People are a little bit more worried about JD, as not only is this out of character, but the Kickstarter was going well. The printers even had the games ready to go. If the artists and other people on the project could legally authorise it, then the Kickstarter could progress. Hopefully JD is okay, but those others on the project have said he was going through some real-life changes just before all communication stopped. In better news, Chris Spivey is joining Arc Dream. That's a great match. Not only is Chris a creative brain, he has a knack for logistics. With games like Harlem Unbound, he created and delivered Mythos RPGs, and now he's joining Arc Dream, who published Delta Green, as production director. I hope this means Arc Dream can continue to make progress with the Black Company TTRPG. They said they would not be rushed, but the Black Company, perhaps the first ever grimdark fantasy series, is special to me and other fans. We are allowed to be impatient. A tabletop game that I did not see coming, but which was listed on Drive-Thru RPG this week, is Blacksad. I discovered Blacksad years ago only after the computer game bugs had been ironed out, and it provided fans with a fantastic detective thriller in which the main character definitely isn't Batman, but a black Catman. Blacksad is a comic book, an award-winning one first and foremost. Now, through the Spanish publisher Nocerol, it is also a tabletop RPG. I have already seen several social media comments along the lines of, "Just take my money." In contrast, there is Victoriana, a tabletop game of fantasy and steampunk, which I already had. This week, Cubicle 7 released the 5e version. That's to say, the D&D 5th edition rules that I was not sure Victoriana needed. I have managed a rare review, and my thoughts on Vault 5e Victoriana is that the D&D engine does not make it a lesser game, but it does shift the focus, for me at least, away from politics and social intrigue towards action and adventure a bit more. And that's not just in the rule set, but the setting, as we spend more time describing the different sides in the battle of order versus chaos. And speaking of chaos, I am still catching up with my Gen Con news. It's not decided yet, but I may taper my August 2026 plans to avoid diving straight into the Edinburgh Festival madness and save some time for gaming news. For example, this week I wrote about Sword World receiving an English translation. That's Gen Con news. There is a free Quickstar out now. Sword World is a popular TTRPG in Japan. I think we'll see more games from Japan get English translations in the next few months and years. In this case, Sword World is also the game that inspired the excellent anime Record of Logos War. I feel that alone makes it a desirable game for anyone's collection. Another piece of Gen Con news is Miko Chess Grand. This is an expensive chessboard with a so-called AI in it. You can play against the AI, or if you want, there's this cool feature in which you can watch live streams of chess masters playing as the pieces on your board move. And that is the thing. This Miko AI product is the first that I know that allows the computer to move itself as a result of its own decisions. I think for Miko Chess Grand owners, these pawns moving across the board will be the first time ever in their home that an AI made a physical change. I wonder if this is the future that geeks in the 1970s imagined for us. Rebellion, the British publisher, has delved into its archive of 1970 comics and compiled a collection of action comics. At the time, there was a moral outcry at all the violence in these comics, and they got banned. In a practice bit of marketing and PR, Rebellion have therefore put all the action comics under these bans into a single volume that you can pick up later this year. In my near future, next weekend in fact, there's Tabletop Scotland. It is the largest D&D convention in the UK, and by which I mean it has the most adventurous league games. Tabletop Scotland is also a premier organiser, which means it has a piece of the Forgotten Realms to shape as they and Wizards of the Coast please. That area is Murcombe. So if you want to see the part of the Forgotten Realms that Scotland controls, you can check out the map on the Geek Native blog. There are already 3 adventures for it. There's the Grand Bazaar of Scalander by Colin Tweedy. There's The Trouble in the Cobalt Crown by Richard Green. And there are Sands of Talos by Ian Hawthorne. There are 2 bundles and a competition for our outro. Both bundles are from the Bundle of Holding, and they are both 2 sets of 2. The first is from Zoser Games, who have Hostile on offer. Hostile is a sci-fi RPG powered by the Cepheus engine and inspired by movies like Alien. So if you are enjoying Alien Earth but don't yet have a system for it, then there are 4 tiers here that might solve the problem. The second is from Gallant Knight Games, who have their own Tiny Dungeon Mega Pack, along with their Tiny Design for a total of 3 tiers. The competition is for 50 quid to spend at our Tabletop Scotland sponsors, all rolled up. To enter, you just have to estimate how many die you have. However, you get bonus points if you can snap a picture of all rolled up at Tabletop Scotland and share it with us. One thing to highlight is that the world trade situation is a mess right now. If you are spending money at all rolled up, whether it's this £50 win or not, please make sure the British publisher and shop can send to your country before you attempt to do so. That's a wrap. There won't be a podcast next week, as we will be at Tabletop Scotland, but I promise we'll catch up afterwards and I'll let you know how it went.